I love the Motorola RAZR Ultra. It is a fantastic phone, and if you watch my video the last couple of days, you know that I switched over from my S25 Ultra. This has got my primary SIM card in it. This is my full review on this phone, and I will still continue to have my SIM card in this phone because I like it that gosh darn much. Well, it's available now. Pre-orders are over. You can pick it up today, and if you're interested, it's $1,299. But hopefully, you got it during the pre-order time because if you got it through Motorola, you could get the 1 terabyte model for the same price as the 512. So that was a pretty good deal in savings. Or I don't know if the deal is still going on, but if you get it through Best Buy or if you pre-order it through them, you got a free clicks case, and that's one of the coolest things about this phone. Not only is it an amazing flip phone, not only is it a full flagship flip phone without compromises, well, other than there's no telephoto, but that's the only real compromise. That clicks keyboard is pretty cool. I got to test one out back at CES. I happen to know the people who make the Clicks keyboard cases, and there's some friends of mine, and I got to get my hands on one that they were prototyping, and it was so nice. And one of my biggest complaints with the Clicks keyboard cases, it makes the phone so big. Well, if you've got a phone like this and you can flip the screen down, you get a beautiful 4-inch screen and a keyboard. That's as close as you're going to get to a BlackBerry in 2025. And the keyboard's actually really good. So, just throwing that out there. I can't wait to get an official keyboard for this one. But other than that little spicy jaunt in keyboard land, this phone is fantastic. I have the Scarab model that has this Alcantara green leather on the back. It's got the stitching. It's got this Italian suede-like leather. There are other colors. I can't remember the names, so let me tell you. They got the Pantone Rio Red, which is actually it's really, really nice. They've got the Mountain Trail, which is the wooden back, which is cool. And a lot of people really like that wooden back. I was hesitant with getting that model because it is kind of slippery. It's more slippery than this, and I just love this Alcantara leather on the back. And then there's the Cabaret, and man, that Cabaret red, it looks fiery. Not just saying that because it's red, but I mean it is. They have done such a great job working with Pantone with these color selections and the textures and the leathers and all the things they've done. It's really nice. And it's funny because somebody actually complained in a video the other day saying, "How come? What happened to just good old like plain black?" And the thing is Motorola is really going out of the way trying to make these really unique phone experiences with the colors. It's not like Samsung where you get all these different. It's like tints now, or even with iPhone. It's not a real color. It's like a hue or a tint, and it's very frustrating because I wish we could get some nice, cool, unique colors. And this one is amazing. Like I fell in love with this as soon as I saw it. But hear me out on this. Let's talk about the specs. It's got the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, full flagship power. You got all the power you need in here. You got this big 7-inch screen, 7-inch, and it's got the best crease probably on any phone I've ever used, other than the Oppo Find N5. And this thing, like you can hardly see the crease, and it's really really nice. It's not distracting. The screen's on, like you can't really see it, you can't really feel it. They've done a tremendous job there. And one of the biggest concerns people had with the Motorola phones the last few years was the hinge and the screen and the durability. And I really think they've gone out of their way to try and make this better and to make it a better experience. It's got a nice smooth hinge. There's no hitch in it. There's no clicking. There's no locking. There's no snapping. None of that stuff. And it's just a nice smooth experience. And on top of that, they reinforce it's got titanium now. It's supposed to be 4 times more durable. I don't know really how to test that other than just telling you it's 4 times more durable, but it should be good to go. And I have faith in it. I think it's going to hold up. And on top of that, it's got the aluminum body. It's got this POLED display, which is nice. I mean, it's got a really nice display on it, 165 hertz. So you get 165 hertz on the inside and on the outside, and it goes up to 4500 nits brightness, which is just crazy. Like 4500 nits brightness, Dolby Vision, HDR 10 plus, and yeah, I like it. It's right under a Quad HD Plus resolution. It's Full HD Plus, but it's like right there. I mean, 1440p is Quad HD Plus. I had to look over at the number. It's 1224 by 2912. So like right on the cusp of Quad HD Plus. The PPI pixels per inch is really good. It is. So I can't remember all these. It's 464. So you're totally covered there. And then you got the 50 megapixel selfie camera. And you got the 50 megapixel camera on the outside for the ultra wide and the primary. I think the cameras are good. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the images that I've taken. I've taken quite a few shots with it. I was in New York the other day for another event, so I decided, it was a little gloomy out, and it was a little dark the other night when I was taking photos, but I think the photos look pretty good. I like the way that they look, and I think it looks sharp. You can do 8K video at 30 frames per second, 4K up to 120. And what's also nice is you get two selfie cameras with this, essentially, because you get the selfie on the inside. If that's not good enough for you, then of course you can use the one on the front, which is really cool because it's a better overall camera. You can use the primary camera as a selfie. And it's cool whenever you're taking pictures, whenever you take the photo and snap it, it pops up on the back. So the people who are back there looking at it can be like, oh, hey, I get to see what I look like. Maybe let's try and retake that shot again. So I like the versatility. And then, of course, you got camcorder mode, which as soon as you turn it like this, it basically puts it in video camera mode. It's got the image stabilization. It's really neat. I feel like I'm walking around with an old camcorder from the 90s, recording like a family reunion or something like that. 16 gigs of RAM, two storage models. You've got 512. So this starts baseline 512. So yes, you can complain. It's $1,299, but they bring their A game. We got 512 storage, and then we got 1 terabyte. I've got the 1 terabyte, which again is more expensive. So if you wanted this, hopefully you pre-ordered it so you could get the free terabyte upgrade, or at least that case, like we were talking about, the Clicks keyboard case. Here's the belle of the ball, the front screen. 4-inch screen, 165 hertz refresh rate, and I mean, you can even play Doom on the front screen. Just like a nerd joke. I mean, it's always a joke all the things they could put Doom on. But yeah, the front screen experience is nice, and of course, all you have to do is swipe over to your menu page. You see a little pencil icon up there. You tap that, and that allows you to put any app that you want that's from your app library onto the front, so then you can use it. I mean, it's so nice being able to do all this stuff with the front screen. It's like, oh, hey, you want to watch YouTube on the front screen? Bam, there we go. We got YouTube on the front screen. It's so nice. And then, of course, you close the screen. If you got it open, it'll pop up. You can continue doing what you want on the front screen. And then you get 68-watt charging. 68-watt charging. I'll say it again and let it sink in. So that's one of the things with this phone, super fast charging. It's not like the Z Flip 6 that has 25-watt charging. This will recharge quick, fast, in a hurry, and it has a 4,700 milliamp battery. So one of the problems we've had with the flip phones in the past is they've had small batteries. This one will last you all day. I mean, it's only 300 milliamps smaller than the gigantic S25 Ultra. So it's crazy to me that they put that big old battery inside of here, which is nice. And then you still get 30-watt wireless charging and 5-watt reverse wired charging. Reverse wired charging. So you get all that stuff, and it's IP48. So you get the IPX8, which we had previously. Throw it in the water up to 1.5 meters, up to half an hour, and you're gold. You should be all right. Now they've got the 4. The 4 is for dust resistance, and basically it's like millimeter-sized objects. I mean, it's not very big. Millimeters pretty stinking small. So we're not talking like fine-tuned microscopic little dusts and debris and things like that. But hey, it's something, and it's crazy to me how small these hinges are now. I remember whenever these things first came out, they had these big hinges on the back, and now, I mean, it's almost flush. It's very, very close to what you get with the edges of the screen. So I think the total package is good. I've really enjoyed it. I've been carrying it around. I've been using it over a week now, and this is my favorite flip phone ever, and it's one of my favorite phones of this year. Again, I really wanted to dive in on this, and I like it so much. I like the S25 Ultra, and it's, I think, the best phone Samsung has ever made. The S25 Ultra is fantastic, and you can't go wrong with this phone, but I love flip phones. And ever since the first Z Flip, I've used them a lot. I mean, I extensively used the Z Flip 5G. I used that over a year. I used the Z Flip 3, then the 4, and then I finally switched over to Motorola when the 2023 came out, and they brought them back. I'm like, man, this is good. Actually, no, I had the Motorola RAZR 5G. The one from like 2021 or 2022, I think is what it was. And yeah, I really wrote it off at first because it didn't have a great processor. I think it was like the Snapdragon 765. Like, it was really underpowered and overpriced. But man, the experience on it was so good. It was one of those things where I got one used super cheap. Somebody was just getting rid of it on eBay. I got it for like 375 bucks. And I used that sucker till the wheels fell off. It was so good. So waited around, and then we finally got the RAZR Plus 2023, and it was so good. I went and bought mine at T-Mobile, and it wasn't something Motorola sent me. I fell in love with it. And the great thing is, this whole front screen experience, it's not like Samsung. It's not like the Z Flip. And I know this probably sounds repetitive. I talk about this in so many videos. But with the Z Flip, you can't use any apps on the front screen unless you go through a lot of steps. Like by default, they just have the widgets. And you have to go into your settings, you have to go into S Labs, and then you have to enable it. And then it's like 5 apps you can use, 4 or 5 apps. So if you want to use anything beyond that, you have to go and download GoodLock and then set it up and then go through this process. It's a pain in the butt. There's probably 90% of people walking around with the Z Flip not using apps on the front screen on their phone. It's like, what's the point? The whole point is so you can use it, right? Not just for widgets, not just for notifications, but so you can use it. And it's so nice being able to watch like YouTube on here. It's nice, it's compact. It also protects the interior screen because you get the ceramic glass, the Gorilla Glass ceramic on the outside. So it works really well. And Motorola is just, I think, blows Samsung out of the water in this department. Now, they don't have the 7 years of support, 7 years of all that great stuff. You get your 3 years of operating system updates, 4 years of security patches. I'm okay with that, only because I don't know if this phone will last 7 years. Just like I don't know if the Z Flip will last 7 years, right? That's a long time for a normal phone. Like most people don't think that this phone will last 7 years. And then a lot of people still don't place a lot of faith in these foldable screens. So it's like, okay, is it going to last 7 years? Probably not. I think it's more semantics, really. So in practicality land, where I like to live, I think most people will probably want to get a new phone after 3 or 4 years. So if you get 3 years of operating system updates, 4 years security patches, I think that's going to be the effective lifespan of this phone. If it lasts longer, great, that's fine. Maybe it's supposed to be rated to last longer than that. But for me, as somebody who's used these phones since day one, since the flip phones came out, I wouldn't use a flip phone more than 3 or 4 years. I usually like to rehash them after about 2. So we'll see how it goes, but that's why I'm not upset about it. And honestly, it's funny because, well, they've been better with software updates. I will give them that. I mean, they're still not the best in the world. It seems like they wait till the new phone comes out to finally release the new version of the software. It's like, okay, the RAZR Plus 2024 came out with Android 14, and it took forever to get Android 15. But then this launched with Android 15. So if they could get us Android 16 maybe by end of the year, beginning of next year, that would be great. Like, I'd really like to see Motorola take some positive steps in that department. It's got stereo speakers, and it's also got the fingerprint scanner built into the power button, which I really like. We'll try and get this on camera here. Whoop. Oh, I already unlocked it. Yeah, so I love the fingerprint scanner being built in here. I don't like the ones under the screen as much as I like the physical ones. You've got facial recognition as well. I don't ever use it. I'm not a big fan, but it's there. It works just fine if you want to use it. The fingerprint scanner works so well with this, especially because if you've got the phone closed, how are you going to do the facial recognition? It's not programmed with the selfie. So you can just unlock it and start doing whatever you want on the front screen. So this phone has all that and a bag of chips, as they would say back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I totally hated that expression. But this phone, I like it a lot. I liked it a lot enough. That is terrible sentence structure. I liked it well enough that I switched over from my S25 Ultra, and I'm using this as my daily driver. I just can't believe that this thing, I've got a terabyte of storage, 16 gigs of RAM. It's got a lot of AI stuff built into it that you can take advantage of. And I think if you've been in the market for a flip phone, if you've been waiting, and again, this is a very expensive phone, $1299. So maybe the best thing to do is wait till they go on sale. And here's the beauty of these Motorola phones, right? So the RAZR, it is $699. The RAZR Plus is $999. Honestly, the 2024 RAZR Plus is almost exactly the same phone. Buy that and save several $100s. And then the Ultra is $1299. But here's the thing. There's a lot of carrier availability. There's a lot of deals on these things. They've got them at pretty much most carriers, I believe. They've even got them at like Best Buy and some other places. And the RAZR, like last year, you could get it as cheap with Metro by T-Mobile for like $100 or $199 a lot of these places. And then the RAZR Plus, by the time we got to these new ones several months ago, you could buy it $699 brand new off Best Buy, and you could get the regular RAZR for $499. So they're very aggressive with sale pricing. So if you're worried about buying one now and paying full price, which of course I think it's worth it, if you wait till later, you'll probably get a pretty good, stinking good deal on it. So that's kind of just my words of wisdom. Motorola may not want to hear that, but hey, if you buy it later, I guess it still works out. I like to tell y'all folks, I'm not a salesman. I'm just here giving you my experience, telling you what I've done with the phone, and giving you the information you need to make an informed decision if you're interested in buying one. But yeah, I love this thing, and it's only 199 grams. Like, it is super, super light. So basically, it's less than half a pound. 454 grams in a pound, so 199. It's got nano SIM, it's got eSIM, and I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss anything here that I wanted to talk about. Got my notes over here off to the side. But yeah, I like this phone a lot. And it's got Snapdragon sound. It's got good speakers on it. They're nice and loud. The call quality is good on this thing. 5G is solid. USB-C charging port down at the bottom. And if you're a fan of the flip phones, this is the best that you're going to get. And I think it's probably still going to be better than the Z Flip. I think it was very aggressive for Motorola to come out and very boldly put this out, come out with this phone before the Z Flip, because there's like 3 models. You got the RAZR Plus, and the RAZR Ultra. We get one Z Flip. Of course, we're supposedly going to get the Z Flip FE maybe later on this year. And there's rumor that they might even put the Exynos chip inside of the Z Flip 7, and that honestly will quite frankly piss people off. I think that the Snapdragon 8 Elite is a better processor. So if they go in and put the Exynos processor in there, that's just going to be another thumbs up for this phone over the Z Flip. But I think the timing is good. I think the pricing is fair enough. I mean, it is a flip phone still. I mean, they do cost money to make. And then again, big battery, 4,700 milliamp, beautiful screen, 7-inch. I mean, it's the largest flip phone display that you can get. 165 hertz refresh rate on the inside and the outside now. Max peak brightness, 4,500 nits. You've got everything you could ask for, total package. And yes, I wish it had a telephoto camera. But that's kind of the way of the world when it comes to these flip phones. Maybe at some point in time we'll get that. I know that the Oppo Find N3 Flip last year had it, and it was pretty cool. So I would like to see a trio. I love all 3 cameras. That would be great. Or find some way to do it. But for now, I think the 2 cameras on here are very good enough. 50 megapixels all the way around. High quality, high resolution. Take some good photos. And that's pretty much it. It's a good phone. I like it a lot. It's pretty much a resounding message here. So if you have any questions, comments, gripes, concerns, complaints, all that stuff, of course, please go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.